Sell a house, wholesale real estate investing, number 187 here on, what do we got? November 9th, 2015. And I want to welcome everybody here today to Negotiating New Op Day, our show today all about Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. And why do we want to know how to win friends and influence people? Because, simply put, right there, real estate equals relationships. And you know what? It's not just real estate in today's world. It's everything. Everything is relationships in today's world. And, you know, you want to be somebody who has the ability to communicate. I mean, it's just really that simple. I'm so sorry there. See, obviously I need some practice. And how do you communicate? Look around today. It's amazing. Look at the people who have no clue how to communicate with another human being that they're standing with, they're within 5-foot proximity of. Look at the, go to the grocery store, go to the Quick Mart on the corner, go to the gas station, go to a restaurant, and sit at the counter or a bar, and just look at how so closed in people have gotten into their own little worlds that they just can't break out of the shell to say even hello to a person that's pretty much practically sitting right next to them. And it's funny. I don't know. I've never been to Europe. This is just what I hear. But like in cafes and things, that people will just like sit down at your table. But here, I mean, if there's a space, if there's somebody sitting there and there's 2 seats available to the left of them, or may actually be more like 3 or 4 seats to the left of them. Let's say there's 2 people and there's 3 seats in between. The only ones at the whole bar, wherever you're at, right? You have to go sit down at this location. There, or in the movie theater, for instance, wherever it is, right? You're by yourself. There's 2 people. There's 3 seats in between them. How many people today do you think are going to sit on either end seat, and how many are going to sit in that middle seat because they don't want to be next to somebody? They don't want somebody invading their world, invading their little space. And that's a sad thing. I mean, it really is, because I mean, if everything is all about relationships, how in the heck are you going to win friends and influence people if you won't even talk to the guy next to you? Anyway, John, good day to you, sir. What do you think of all that?
Well, I think that's kind of the trend nowadays, isn't it? Especially with cell phone and iPads and iPods, as everywhere you go, it seems like people just bury themselves actually into the computer digital world. So it's a trend. I don't think it's reversing. I think what's going to separate the winners from the losers, if you will, the rich from the poor, and separate the people that are successful from the people who are unsuccessful, is their ability to learn the skills contained within this book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And it's also the topic that we discuss each and every New Op Day, and pretty much the other hangouts as well, because everything we do is based around helping other people, reaching out to and communicating with other people. So in an age where I think the trend is for people to become less sociable as far as face-to-face human interaction goes, people are very good at chatting online, chat rooms, and I don't even know if chat rooms are a thing anymore, but text messaging and commenting on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and sharing pictures. People have more of a superficial kind of relationship through the computers. So I still believe that although you want to ride that trend of the internet and understand how interactions and social interactions take place on the internet, I'm not diminishing the importance of that. But I believe that what's really going to separate the successful, let's talk about what matters most to us, wholesalers, what's going to separate the wholesaler who's going to be kicking ass at this thing and the person who's going to be the whole failing. One of the big differences is going to be your ability to talk to, and relate to people. And the good news is it's a learnable skill. And even the better news is you have probably have less competition nowadays than at any time before in history because of the internet. So use that to your advantage. Get out there and learn how to develop some people skills. And I'm glad for everyone who's joined Paul and I today to kind of dive into this book and the importance that this book can have in your ability to be successful in your businesses.
You know, wholesaling is one of those areas where it's not ready to go online yet. You know why? Age. Because the people who are online, people where, you know, the future is going and where, you know, the trend is happening, where all the money is now being spent, et cetera, and so on, is coming up from the younger generations. Well, the younger generations, they don't have the houses that have been around in the family for a long time and want to be, you know, selling these properties. So we're dealing with, you know, the last century's mentality, and we're dealing with the people that come from that. And so that's why right now, especially, wholesaling is really, I mean, all about how to win friends and influence people, because you really need to get out there and break through these people's desire to want to do things online. That whole, what I was talking about on the other hangout, the DIY versus the DFU, the do-it-yourself versus the done-for-you. These people want this, you know, whole new age thought process of done-for-you things. And the whole idea of them being able to somehow go online and get this done would be very appealing to them. But, you know, they don't have the technology, the wisdom, the know-how, or any of that to do so. So they're stuck kind of in a place where, which is what's kind of making wholesaling so great right now. They're kind of stuck in a place where, you know, they don't know what to do, because it's a problem that, you know, they've never faced before. They have no clue how to handle any of it. They don't know where to go. They've tried going online to the internet. That's not working. They don't know where else to go. And then lo and behold, here you are, live and in person with the answer. But live and in person, that's the key. And if you go live, and if you can't go live and in person because you don't have the kinds of skills that come out of this type of knowledge, then the next guy who shows up live and in person, who does have the skills that come out of this kind of knowledge, is going to steal your deal from you.
Exactly. And that's why it's very important to realize that if you're going to be in wholesaling, really for you, the focus isn't so much on the real estate portion of it. Your focus is on getting the message out there to motivated about your entrepreneurship, your ability to help them out of a bad situation. There's a lot that goes into that. How to find them, what are those situations that they're in. But at the end of the day, what we're discussing here is, let's just assume for a minute that you know how to find those people, you know how to get an appointment with those people, and here you are, they're in a motivated situation, and you are now sitting across the table from them ready to negotiate. Well, you have to be able to deal with people in order to deal with them. And I don't even like to use the word deal with people, because it kind of gives, oh, I got to deal with this guy, a negative connotation. I enjoy sharing with people, especially when I know with what I have to share with them is something that's going to help them. So going into the situations with these sellers with that mindset, I think is of key importance. And that's kind of the mindset or the core idea behind this entire book you should keep in your mind as we're going through it, is sharing. And that's how you win friends, and that's how you influence people, is by sharing. Sharing implies that you're listening to them, so you know what it is you need to share with them. What is it that they would want you to share with them? You got to learn to listen, all those different concepts. So I'm just saying that's kind of the most important thing too with wholesale real estate, is that you realize that we're sharing a service with people. We're helping them out of a bad situation. We're entrepreneurs, and we're giving them something in return. We're giving them peace of mind, a little bit of money in their pocket, And if you're a property noodler, and as you team members know, we are saving them from a mountain of potential debt and disaster happening. So if you can't keep that mindset and see how important our work is and how proud we should be to be getting this message out there, you know, you really got to have that belief system, because that's where it starts. And then this is just the manual on how to treat people once you're in their living room. So I'm sure that for those of you watching this, the reason you're coming on board here with the team or just watching this for wisdom is you got to be caring about people if you're a wholesaler, because you got to be getting that message out there of what you can do to these people or for these people.
Yeah. So where the heck are we in the book, John? Do you even? I mean,
well, with that being said, that was a very lengthy introduction into this. But yeah, we were discussing actually chapter 3.
We're getting ready to. We're just starting chapter 3, right?
Well, we're kind of halfway through chapter 3, which you know, the quote to the beginning of the chapters really. I'm going to share it because it gives a lot of wisdom and kind of gets your mind thinking in the back of it subconsciously what this chapter is going to be about. And it's all, he who can do this has the whole world with him. He who cannot walks a lonely way. Basically refers to the fact in this chapter that can you know, understand that it's about other people. If you can't understand that, you're going to be very lonely, or you're going to have, you know, lower sales than you could be having. You're going to have more no's than you can have yes. This whole chapter is about presenting yourself to people, or this is how we relate it to what we're doing. Presenting yourself to people, putting them first, putting them before your wants and needs, actually offering them something in advance of you asking for something. And we were going through some of the letters that companies were sending out to their clients or potential clients, and how those letters were a big turnoff to the people reading them, because it presents their information or their case in a way that just makes it all about me wanting something from you, and rather than you have wants and needs and I'm here to fill those. So we were kind of going through those concepts and reading through the letters and the examples of really what not to do in this book. Does that kind of jog your memory of where we're at?
Yeah, I totally forgot about the letters. That's why I need some glasses here.
All right. Well, just to skip, you know, forward to where we left off at, we had read through a letter that was written in this book from a company trying to get somebody to buy advertising or marketing time or marketing space on a radio commercial, and how the letter really was quite ineffective because it presented the fact that we want your business and we're so great and you should go with us, and we want, and we are so good, we are this, rather than presenting it in a manner that was about, you know, you're looking for something, a way to advertise your business. That's great and everything like that. You're looking for that. We can help you with that. And here's how. So it's kind of showing a rewrite. And this is a concept that's very important for wholesalers, because this chapter actually changed our marketing materials from about a 5% return to, what do we say? We get like probably close to a 20% return. I feel like for 1 in every 5 letters that goes out, we're getting a call back. That's huge. That's great. Mm-hmm. That's about 15%, 15 to 18% higher than the average marketing campaigns that most people are doing. And that was with the help of this book. So now that we're up to speed, I'll toss it back to you to kind of lead us out of what we were talking about and into the next concept here of the chapter.
Yeah. Well, that first letter, like you said, it really pointed out how, you know, the letter was written all about me. This is what we do. This is what we want. This is what we desire. This is how we're going to do things around here, and yada, yada, yada. Oh, and by the way, at the last second, you know, there was, you know, a little thing about you and what we could do for you. So that's kind of how that first letter flowed. And he pointed out how, though each sentence, how each sentence really would aggravate would aggravate the reader and really inspire resentment to build towards the sender of that letter. And you don't want your sellers building resentment towards you before you've even had a chance to talk to them. So the next letter here goes into, well, actually the next letter here, the way he writes this, he says, here's another letter. He says, what effect did this letter have on the man to whom it was addressed? And then he says, I'll tell you afterwards. So let's just read this letter and we'll see what he says afterwards. This letter goes, Azarega Sons Incorporated, yada, yada, yada. Attention, Mr. Edward Vermillion. Gentlemen, the operations at our outbound rail receiving station are handicapped because a material percentage of the total business is delivered us in late afternoon. This condition results in congestion, overtime on the part of our forces, delays to trucks, and in some cases, delays to freight. On November 10th, we received from your company a lot of 510 pieces, which reached here at 4:20 p.m. We solicit your cooperation toward overcoming the undesirable effects arising from late receipt of freight. May we ask that on days on which you ship the volume which was received on the above date, effort be made to either get the truck here earlier or to deliver us part of the freight during the morning. The advantage that would accrue to you under such an arrangement would be that of more expeditious discharge of your trucks and the assurance that your business would go forward on the date of its receipt. Very truly yours, J.B. Suck. So how does that little letter affect the other person who received that letter?
Okay, you know what? Reading that and kind of making an assumption of what their business is about and what's going on in here is obviously I had a complaint about maybe my deliveries. And what I'm seeing here is they're trying to come back to me and make an excuse for it. Well, this is the way we run and this is the way we operate. So it's just inevitable that this is going to happen. Okay. Not really offering any sort of solution to it or really accepting responsible, but rather to me, it comes off like an excuse. And then you're asking me to cooperate in overcoming these undesirable effects arising from late receipt of the freight. So now the fact that you get it late, now you're asking for, me to come in and help you to figure out this situation. And can an effort be made either to get the truck here earlier or deliver as part of the freight during the morning? So you're asking me that, and then offering the advantage of, okay, if you could do this for me, this is what you'll get. I just get the sense here that this could have been presented in a way that you could have asked that same thing to get them to help you by getting their products or their deliveries to you a little bit earlier. But the order of things just seem wrong to me. I don't know. What was your take on it, Paul?
Well, basically, yeah, what he says is, it has the reverse effect because the whole letter starts off by describing the terminal's problems, asking, like you said, requesting your cooperation. And then finally, in the last paragraph, it discusses a little bit about the advantages if you choose to cooperate with us. What's most interesting to the person who's reading the letter, who received the letter, is held off till the end. And the prior to getting to, what's good about it for me, what's in it for me, it raises the whole spirit of antagonism opposed to cooperation. And basically, I mean, this letter could have been completely different if he would have started out with, the very last paragraph there and saying, something along the lines of, hey, gentlemen, our company is, working diligently to improve the services provided to you and your company in the manner of more expeditious discharge of your trucks and the assurance that your business would go forward. And then, from there, okay, great. Oh, wow, these guys are doing something to benefit us. What does he want to talk about here? You know what I mean? Just going right to that first, opposed to, the operations of our terminal are having problems because it's your fault.
And then that's, totally in contradiction, I'm going to point out real fast too. I think it's possibly chapter 1, which is about don't kick over the beehive, which is don't criticize or complain or put somebody down if you're trying to elicit a positive response or correct a situation.
Yep. Exactly.
No, yep. And you pointed out everything I wanted to bring up too, is that you're almost, you're condemning and complaining and putting them down right there in the first thing by, this is your fault for trucks here so late. And if I'm the guy with that business, I said, oh, you're blaming me. Why haven't you said something before about these? I'm on the defensive now. I want to justify. Well, you never said anything about the lateness of my trucks till now. And you know what? I'm the one giving you my business. And this is how you're going to present yourself to me. It's not that extreme, I think, on the conscious level, because, people can kind of choose their reaction to things and go, oh, well, I mean, he probably, okay, I get what he's saying. However, there's a better way of doing things, because even if it doesn't have that outward conscious, oh, to hell with this guy, kind of slam your fist down, angry reaction, that reaction is taking place on a subconscious level, influence the conscious actions that someone reading this letter is going to take. And that's actually even probably more important than what happens on the conscious level, is how a marketing piece speaks to the subconscious levels of people.
That's I'm glad you finished off with that, because that's exactly what I was going to throw in there, that, on the surface, a guy's going to be like, oh, well, that kind of, blah, blah, blah. This is not a good thing going on here, yada, yada, yada. But inside his mind, his subconscious is screaming, who the hell does this guy think he is?
Exactly.
So and then he moves right here into just the same letter with a rewrite. So let's read the rewrite. Dear Mr. Vermillion, instead of gentlemen. Dear Mr. Vermillion, your company has been one of our good customers for 14 years. Naturally, we are very grateful for your patronage and are eager to give you the speedy, efficient service you deserve. However, we regret to say that it isn't possible for us to do that when your trucks bring us a large shipment late in the afternoon, as they did on November 10th. Why? Because many other customers make late afternoon deliveries also. Naturally, that causes congestion. That means your trucks are held up unavoidably at the pier, and sometimes even your freight is delayed. That's bad, but it can be avoided. If you make your deliveries at the pier in the morning when possible, your trucks will be able to keep moving. Your freight will get immediate attention, and our workers will get home early at night to enjoy a dinner of the delicious macaroni and noodles that you manufacture. Regardless of when your shipments arrive, we shall always cheerfully do all in our power to serve you promptly. You are busy. Please don't trouble to answer this note. So you can see right there, as I talked about, he goes right into, praising the other person for their patronage to his business in the first place. Hey, thank you very much for being a customer of 14 years. It's really appreciative, and we really want to do everything to support you and your business, yada, yada, yada. Now the guy's totally interested in what the heck he's got to say, and why is he telling me all these good things about me and my company, and that he wants to help me. Is there a problem going on here? Is there something that I can do to fix this? He's already got an idea in his head about he wants to do something to help these people help him.
Right. It starts off like Paul said, addressing them as a long-term client, long-term customer of their services, praising them and thanking them for that, pointing out, and using the word however, almost apologetically saying that things have been delayed, but mainly because of the time and day in which your trucks get here, points out how that is the problem, but not really condemning them for it, and then turning around and almost offering the solution in a way that presents itself of us, let's work together here to come to this solution. And it's simple. If we can work something out to get your trucks here earlier in the morning, then you'll be first in line to receive our services of packaging and getting your stuff shipped out and your trucks unloaded and get you out of here. And then, sprinkling this whole thing throughout with compliments. And actually, when you read this too, it has a very cheery, positive, upbeat, complimentary feel to the whole letter. It makes it sound like you can enjoy doing business together. This problem isn't a problem, but a challenge that you can enjoy facing and overcoming. And that's how this letter speaks to the subconscious mind.
I'm just looking at my own notes on these two letters here. And I'm not gonna read the whole letter again. I'm just gonna read you my own personal notes from the first letter. All right. Who cares? Wah. Yeah, so what? So deal with it. Not my problem. You can ask, but F you. Why didn't you say that in the first place? Those are my notes from that first letter that I was thinking along the way of reading that. In the second letter, my notes are more like this. Oh, well, thank you very much. There's a problem here. Oh, well, let's see. And this is what's going on that's affecting my business. Then the solution is offered softly, and when softly, you know, it's giving orders, but it's making requests and very short and to the point. All right, here's another mutual benefit for me. Oh, and another bit of praise with my delicious macaroni and noodles. And whatever you decide is okay. Whatever I decide is okay with you guys. Okay. So, I mean, I didn't get anything bad. I didn't have any bad thoughts about that. The first one, it just had me pretty much yelling at the guy right from the beginning.
Yeah. Exactly. And, you know, even when you're reading these books and seeing these letters for yourself, you could see the kind of power between the two different applications of the concept and presenting yourself and, you know, presenting the same thing, but in two completely different ways. What's effective, what's not. And, you know, take this concept now to the marketing pieces that you currently use in your business. And I challenge everybody that's watching this, that's maybe a seasoned wholesaler that's sent out letters or done postcards or something before, and really analyze and look at your marketing pieces with this thought in mind. How would I react to getting this letter? Ask other people that you're friends with or work with, how would you react if you had this going on in your life and you got this letter? How do you think you might react? And see what people say or think about your marketing pieces. And then think about these concepts and how you can rewrite it. You know, Paul and I often joke around it. Paul's the main creator of the marketing pieces that we use. I like to kind of give Paul my ideas and concepts. He has his ideas and concepts, and he goes ahead and he puts those to life, and he writes some script for us and some letters. And then my job is to kind of reread what he wrote and kind of react to it and maybe edit it or spruce it up a bit or offer a little idea of something that should be left in or left out. But I'm just bringing up because that's kind of our process. It's an important kind of process you should have for your marketing as well. But the point I was going to make is that, you know, Paul and I often joke about, I love when Paul reads me one of his marketing pieces, and I just will joke with Paul and say, oh my goodness, I wish I was in pre-foreclosure with a property to sell you because I love you right now. I want to sell you my house because your letter made me feel so good about being in such a shitty situation.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? You got to infer your own wisdom out of what I just said there.
Well, you know, I mean, like you're talking about, think about your marketing letter. You know, when that person picks out that letter and he opens it up and he looks at it, do they really give a flying crap if you're buying houses in the area, or that, you know, you're looking at 3 and you've only got enough money to buy 1? Oh, well, that sounds like a suck-ass problem. Don't bother me with that crap. You know what I mean? I mean, is that stuff really effective? I mean, is that putting those people in a place of, oh my God, this guy's going to buy 3 houses in my neighborhood this week, and I better be one of them? I don't think so. It ain't working that way. You know, so, you know, do they really, really care that I'm a cash buyer and that I close quickly and I can buy as is and that I'll buy in any condition? Not really. I mean, what are you telling me right there? You're telling me that that I'm desperate and I have a problem and I don't give a crap about my house. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Exactly. And it makes you look like you're a lot of wholesalers that send out letters are getting such a poor response, I think, because it's leaving people with that sour taste, especially this day and age, that, hey, here we go. I've got an issue that someone's trying to, once again, somebody's trying to take advantage of me, and it's these guys here with their cash, and they have to move quickly because they can only buy one house in my neighborhood crap. Like, quite frankly, it works to some level, but don't you think you might want to think about something that works a little bit better? You know, you could present people with the fact that you can close quick and pay cash, and they can avoid having to wait for a finance buyer, and we can get this done on a certain time frame and get the money in your hand in just 7 days. Yeah, sure. You can present that, but it's how you present that. How do you present that to people? When you speak to them, how do you present it? When you mail a letter, how do you present it? And that's why you've got to think about complimenting them first, address their problem through confidence building and compliments, rather than making them feel even worse about that bad situation. Offering them a few options with, hey, selling the property is something we can do, but appeal to what they're looking for initially, a way out of the situation. They may not want to sell that property. They may not want to sell that property because they're attached to it emotionally. We see that a lot of vacant, or they believe the market's going to come around, or they're just very prideful about the situation they're in and they're willing to go down with the ship. So if you come out the gate saying, you've got this problem, you're up Schitt's Creek without a paddle, and I want to buy your house, they're going to be like, thank you for telling me that I suck, and you can take your buying my house and go elsewhere because I now don't want to sell it to you because you don't care about me. And you know what's great? I've heard it firsthand from people's mouths. I've worked with enough people to get those responses to realize that most of the guys that are approaching people out there kind of suck at realizing that they are out there to help people, and it's not about them. It's about the person that owns that property. So, you know, there's a different way to present that same message that makes that person feel good, and it gets them thinking, yeah, okay, I see the option. This is one of my options, and this may be the best option, and I trust this guy because I like this guy because he made me feel good and not bad about the situation, and he showed me the light at the end of the tunnel rather than the darkness I was walking towards. So that's kind of what this book and what this chapter really is all about.
I really hope you guys got a little something out of just looking at this one letter here in two different respects. And if you don't think that what's written in this book, you know what, I don't care that this was written damn near 100 years ago. It's probably more important today than it has been at any point in time throughout the past 100 years since it was written, okay? Because of what we talked about in the beginning, in the reclusiveness of people falling into their, you know, own little shells in their own little worlds, makes it harder and harder and harder to scale those larger and larger walls that people are building around themselves. And it's this kind of stuff right here that's going to help you break through and be successful in your business, whether it be wholesale real estate or selling widgets. I don't care what it is. This is the key element to business success in the future going forward. And if you don't think this book's powerful, well, all I can say is good luck, but I won't be seeing you in paradise.
It's very true. You know, that's, you know, I kind of summed up my final thoughts there when you gave me the opportunity to talk a few minutes ago, Paul. So why don't you just go ahead? I see it's almost 9:05, and I'll kind of let you close us out here today, and I'll see everyone back here on Wisdom Wednesday, where you'll get even more great tips, tidbits, tricks of the trade and whatnot that's going to make you the successful wholesaler and make a and you know, I just want to point out too, because I didn't say this at the beginning of the hangout, what's so important about these sessions that we do on New Op Day Wednesday and Fridays is it's a reminder to everybody about these concepts that you're not going to hear throughout your day, and it's a way to, you know, jump on board every morning with a mastermind and get your thoughts, get yourself thinking and pointed in the right direction and having a powerful, positive mindset for the day. That's what this stuff is all about. And if you're out there flipping properties or wholesaling, you got to have the right attitude. You got to have the right approach, and it all starts in your head. And, you know, that's pretty much what Paul and I talk about every day, is concepts that have to do with mindset, and we sprinkle in some ways in which it relates to our wholesale business and how, if you know, taking these concepts to your business can help you. So why wouldn't you want to get that information every opportunity you get? Plus, we're such great guys, and we have an email address, PropertyNoodlers@gmail. You can reach us at if you just simply take 2 minutes or leave us a comment or something so we can connect. Maybe we can do some business together on some capacity. We're always looking to work with anybody out there that wants to do something in real estate or network marketing or some way to better themselves or their lives or their business. So have a great week. Paul, go ahead.
Oh, great and vast and powerful universe. I ask not to be blessed with riches, but with wisdom, with which to make better use of the riches which you have given to me at birth, consisting of the power to control and direct my own mind to whatever end I might desire. Everybody, have a great session. We'll see you back here on Wisdom Wednesday with, as John said, some more powerful information that can separate you and cross the, bridge the gap between wholesaler and wholesaler.